Alright, welcome to The Real and the Scripted. This is episode 4?
4.
4? I think 4.
4. Yeah, we can't count very high.
Yeah. Once we get to like 10,
it's over.
But let's start with, is Derrick Lewis done?
Oh, man.
At the top of the level, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like this was his last chance, at least at the competing for a title. So now I feel like now he's probably kicked down to gatekeeper.
Just gonna fight like up
level.
and coming guys.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty much where he's. I think he's going to be the gatekeeper now. Like, if you could beat Derrick Lewis, then you'll probably have a chance at least top 15, top 10, something like that. I feel like that's probably where he is now. I mean, because that was bad.
It's so weird because he came in like the best shape he's been in years.
He got taken down immediately.
It looked like he didn't even try.
Yeah.
Because he didn't land. I don't think he landed a single blow. I don't think so.
I don't think he did.
I don't think so.
He got taken down like almost immediately.
Yep, right here. I have it right here. Total strikes 0 for 3.
Jesus.
Didn't he get taken down like 3 times? Like
yeah.
He got up,
taken down. 6 takedowns.
6?
6 out of 8 takedowns, which I can't even believe he stuffed 2.
I know, and I can't believe the fight went long enough for him to get 6.
Yeah. So, and then his total control time was 2 minutes 32 seconds. I mean, we've seen Derrick Lewis get beat, and we've seen him get beat up, but we've never seen him get destroyed. I mean, like, manhandled.
That quickly.
Like, that was crazy. Yeah. That was so crazy.
I feel like it's just the division's just past him now. Like, it used to be like everyone was just going in there mostly to try to brawl, and he always had a power advantage, but now it's like we're getting some pretty technical
I wonder if this is the start of heavyweight starting to come back.
Yeah, I think this is the worst
heavyweights
time.
that can last longer than a fucking round.
This is the worst time for John Jones to move up. He waited way too long. It used to be an easy division that he could have taken over, but now we got some freaking good fighters in the heavyweight division.
Well, I feel like the people that he would fight now, besides Cyril, so if he beats Cyril, I mean, Francis is gone. Like, so he's gone, so he's not fighting Francis. And the only other person that makes money, that he can make money against, is probably Stipe, and who knows if he's even going to fight again.
Yeah.
So, at this time, all there left for him to fight is really Cyril Gane.
But he signed an 8-fight deal.
Which is crazy, because I feel like, if he goes up, beats Cyril Gane, or whatever,
He said if he beats Cyril, he wants Stipe.
But we just don't know if Stipe's going to come back.
I think Stipe will come back for the right price.
You think? I don't know.
But, I mean, he
Dana wouldn't give Francis the right price.
He's not, I don't think Stipe is asking for that. And actually, they offered Francis more money than he wanted, but he didn't want just the money. He wanted freedom to go box and do whatever.
The
he wanted
treatment.
Sponsorships back and stuff.
Well, I think it's so wrong for the UFC to take
but
sponsorships. I still think that is so wrong for UFC to take sponsorships.
But then fighters can.
Especially when they can get their sponsors on the ring.
That's what I'm saying, but then fighters can't. Like,
they put Monster on the shorts.
They're putting Prime all over the place. The fucking, was it the Logan Paul thing?
And
I thought Dana White hated him so much.
He hates Jake.
Yeah, he's like, Logan's pretty alright, but Jake can suck a dick.
Basically. Logan Paul and Dana White have actually kind of been friends for a while, and Logan Paul's brought it up, like, it's kind of hard because my brother's always, like, bashing him.
I feel like Logan's kind of, I don't know, I feel like he's friends with the right people. Like, it just seems like, he's friends with, like, Triple H.
A business standpoint,
like, he's smart. I give him the credit for all that he does and being able to bounce back from being a jackass.
Hey, don't let Seth Rollins hear you say that. He's been on a tear of Logan Paul lately.
Well,
They're definitely setting up that Mania match.
I guess we'll get to that. To that.
I guess the only other thing on that card to kind of touch on is Doo Ho Choi came back after almost 3-year layoff. He looked all right. He lost. It was a draw.
Yeah, that was a weird.
They took a point from Doo Ho Choi, which kind of was a controversial
bullshit.
take. Like, I don't know. No, first warning, you take a point. Like, I don't know. That was kind of weird.
And the head didn't even land. It didn't look like it. Grazed him.
In real time, but I thought they could use replay now to determine.
Can they use replay? It's not replay stops the fight?
Some commissions.
So I guess it just depends on the commission.
But,
but they were in Vegas, right?
Vegas is usually the front runner for all of them, but I don't know. It was weird. Hopefully he just was getting the ring rust out, and next fight he'll come back
like
really
the old
good,
We were actually wrong about the card too. It's usually cards like this that end up being bangers, but it was
kind
of a lot of decisions.
Yeah. if I'm sitting here, if I count all of them right, I think it's 1, 2. There's a draw, so you can kind of count that as a decision. That's what's 3, 4. Well, actually, that's like 4 decisions still. That's still a lot.
On the main card.
Yeah, well, the main card had 3 out of 4. The main card had 3 out of 4. Because then here's the prelims. The prelims
3 out of 4
was all
decisions?
decisions. And then the prelims was all fucking KOs and subs.
Fucking of course. Prelims, a bunch of people we don't know are gonna go out there and show out. Especially, I was in bed. Like that card started. The main card started at freaking 11. That's when most cards end.
Yeah, that's a lot of asking us 9 to 5ers.
If Volk and Islam started at 11, I'd be like, I guess I'm staying up. But for that card,
nah. Well, to be honest, most of this card would put you right to sleep anyway.
Honestly,
like if it wasn't for the prelims, because I did watch some of these, and if it wasn't for the prelims, the whole night is just a snore fest. Where you're like, oh my god.
I'm a night owl, and even I was like, I don't think I could stay.
Because I took a nap to try to watch this. I took a nap to try to all right, I'll stay up. And then, God, once I got to the main card, I was like, oh my god, is this just? Yeah. We're just dancing in a circle, aren't we?
I guess there is another thing to talk about Saturday. It was Fedor's last fight.
Oh God, talk about an end of an era, and rightfully so. Yeah, thank God.
So there's a lot of different takes on this. Where does Fedor stand in your heavyweight best of all time?
Hey, I feel like whatever you say about Fedor, I still feel top 3.
Top 3?
I still feel top 3.
In heavyweights, I would put him in like top 5, just because.
I feel like he did rule an era. I would give him that.
And he has wins over some really credible people. But the only thing that holds him back is the fact that he didn't fight in the UFC. But he did fight UFC fighters once they got out.
I would say his most notable wins for me are probably Mirko and Big Nog.
Yeah.
Which are good. Those are good wins, don't get me wrong. But I feel like once, I don't know if it was just the age caught up to him or what, but then like losing to Fabricio and getting knocked out by way smaller Dan Henderson.
I can go on a whole long.
Well, I can't. I will not. I will not discredit him being knocked out by Dan Henderson. I won't discredit anybody getting knocked out from Hendo. I can't discredit anybody from
I can discredit
because you have to admit, who the fuck saw that punch coming from the back? Yeah. Who the fuck saw that coming? And it's always the punch that you don't see.
But Dan also rocked him on the feet.
Yeah.
And if Fedor's as great as he says, why didn't he dominate him like Anderson Silva did? Anderson Silva mopped the floor with Dan.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm never not convinced that Dan never juiced up a little. Especially in Strikeforce, where Strikeforce is like, who gives a shit?
But that was back in the UFC before USADA and shit. Everyone was fucking doping back then.
That's a good point.
But I would just have to say...
But Fedor never looked like somebody who did anything. Yeah. He always just came in like chunky and weird. And you're like...
I would just have to say Stipe, Kane...
Alistair.
The only reason why I feel like I can't...
Randy.
Can I be honest? I feel like I can't put Kane... The only reason why I feel like I can't put Kane is because he didn't fight long enough. Like, he just wasn't there that much because he kept getting hurt. Getting hurt, and then he got...
But I don't... If
that
he
last
didn't
one,
get hurt, I don't know if anybody was going to be...
That's exactly... We don't know. So I can't consciously put him in my... Maybe on the outskirts of a top 5, but I can't consciously put him over people who fought and who were winning. I just can't, only because he had a few really good bouts. I mean, he beat Brock. I mean, he beat Junior twice. I mean, but Junior did.
He caught him that one time.
But the second and third fight, Kane
beat the dog shit out of him. And I give him all the credit in the world, but he just didn't fight long enough.
Kane also did knock out Big Nog also.
This is the thing.
He knocked out Bigfoot Silva,
but
Big Nog out.
I was going to say, Big Nog was on the way out anyway at that point. I mean, Big Nog was older. Like, so
he knocked out Bigfoot. Like,
I'll give him that. I will give him all of that, but it's just hard because he just didn't fight. I mean, it was like what 5 years of really good fights, but it's and then heavyweight at that time was good, but not great. You know what I'm saying? So there's been that might have been one of the most exciting times for heavyweights in the UFC.
I think that honestly, that was probably the best era for heavyweights in the UFC. I think because then
Junior, Kane, Alistair.
Yeah, because then
but Alistair came
before that
towards the end of that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if it was Alistar in Strikeforce, if it was fucking Ubereem, who the fuck knows? Who the
He did
fuck
start.
knows?
He came in as Ubereem when he fought Brock.
Well, that was a anything goes, no holds barred, but juice
Usada
fest.
Came in and...
Well, because the heavyweights before that era was like
Randy,
Tim Sylvia,
yeah, Andre Arlovsky,
Gabriel Gonzaga. Andre Arlovsky was the only truly good. Andre and Randy were the only truly good heavyweights in that era. The rest were kind of bums, if I'm being honest.
Kinda, yeah.
And
is
then,
that also the era of? Is it? Am I thinking of Matt Mitrione? Am I thinking of him? No, I'm not thinking.
No, Matt Mitrione was in the Junior DeSantos and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Matt Mitrione was that guy who'd get a couple good knockouts and then.
Yeah, where he's getting ready to be released and then just knock somebody out, and you're like, I guess I have to keep him. Or...
Yeah.
See, that's my thing with Fedor. I'll put him in like the top 6, 7 heavyweights of all time, but that's because I feel like there's not that many truly great heavyweights.
Yeah.
There's like 4 elite heavyweight fighters.
That's kind of why I put him in my top 3, because at least he was. I mean, for that run or whatever, yeah, there's some cans in there, but there's also some really quality fighters in there. So I mean, and then he started losing after. I mean, let's be honest. He had some wars. He's had some wars where you're like, damn. He took some good shots and just pulled it out. So then eventually, you start chipping at the rock, or you start chipping at a rock more and more. Eventually, it's just gonna crumble. So I mean,
I'm one of those people that looks at like everything as a whole, and I look. Yeah, he beat Mirko Cro Cop and Big Nog, but what did Mirko and Big Nog do in the UFC? Jack shit. They lost left and right.
But when we mention Randy as a great, when we mention him as a great, he also has almost just as many losses as wins.
Well, yeah, but I would not put Randy in like my top best fighters of all time either.
Like you wouldn't even put him up. Like, would you put him top 10 of heavyweight?
I put him up in heavyweight, but again, that's because.
Would you put him ahead of Fedor? That's what it comes down to. Is because he did lose a lot of fights, and then he did lose some fights that he shouldn't have lost. And then he lost some fights where you're like, oh yeah, you got manhandled by Brock Lesnar, a juiced up Brock Lesnar. Sorry, Brock, if you're listening, I apologize. But, it's like, you were kind of supposed to lose that fight, but there's some fights where you're like, damn, I didn't think he was going to win that. Yeah. Like, I didn't think he was going to beat Chuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know that's light heavyweight, but I didn't think he was going to beat Chuck. Like, I didn't think he was going to come back at 40-something and win the title. I didn't think any of that shit.
Beat up big-ass Tim Sylvia.
Well, Tim Sylvia was fucking losing his battle to cheeseburgers anyway. We should have got him the fuck out of there.
That's another roided motherfucker.
A roided motherfucker that didn't look roided, which is crazy.
Yeah, because he was the type of dude who just roided and didn't work out. He just roided and just used the power, and that was it.
That's so ridiculous. Because steroids doesn't give you any more power. You still have to work at it. Like, you still have to lift the weights. So, I don't know.
And I look at everything as a whole, like, yeah, he beat Andre, but let's be honest, Andre was whooping his ass until he went for that stupid knee. Yeah. And then, like, he was fighting, like, people like Brett Rogers, and that was his name, right? Yeah. And then Hongman Choi, and just bums, and it's hard for me to be like, Fedor was one of the best ever. Heavyweights, I guess, but best fighters ever?
Oh, I won't put him in my best... I won't put him in top 10 of my best fighters. Though, I'll give him. That's why I'll give him best heavyweights. Yeah. I have to put him in at least top 5, but I put him top 3. I mean, I as far as, at least my opinion, as far as heavyweights go, if we're just talking pure heavyweights, it's kind of hard to discredit Alistar at his fucking uber.
Even in the UFC, he had a good run. Like towards the end, he started losing a lot, but he had a good run. He almost got the title.
His chin just couldn't hold up anymore. He couldn't.
Without steroids, he just... Because before he started taking steroids, he got knocked out a lot.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he...
And then even while on steroids, even while on steroids, he was getting knocked out by, like, Badhari and... Chuck Liddell. Well, no, that was before. That was when he was scrawny, light heavyweight. But
so yeah, it's like I put Alistar over there.
I feel like consensus one. Stipe.
Yeah, Stipe. DC. I was gonna say DC is one of the last great heavyweight. He is the last Strikeforce Grand Prix champion, and he came in as an alternative.
And he wrecked. Yeah, and he Josh Barnett and Bigfoot.
And then he came in and wrecked Roy Nelson.
Frank Mir.
Wrecked Frank Mir.
And then the first fight was Stipe.
The
Like his first fight with Stipe was nasty.
And then both fights were close until Stipe
started working body. Started working that body.
You know, DC did a lot in a short amount of time.
Yeah, that's
he really did.
He had a very short MMA career, but
I honestly though I think if Fedor went up against Prime Stipe, Prime DC, even Alistair, I think
I could give. See the
Alistair,
only thing
if
that
he
would
catches Alistair, he would knock him out.
Yeah, and the only thing that I would say gives him an edge over Stipe is his ground game.
Stipe's ground game is extremely underrated.
What I was gonna say, I feel like that is what kind of made Fedor fall off. Was he started to try to just become this striker when he used to have super good ground game.
Yeah, and he was great off of his back, and he was great off the bottom.
Yeah.
Which a lot of heavyweights, we all know this, aren't good off the bottom because they don't practice being on the bottom.
Yeah, because I swear it's like, I think it was like either right before or right when he, like after he knocked out Alistair in Affliction. I mean, not Alistair, Andre in Affliction. He just became, every fight was trying to knock people's heads off, and they would always catch him or submit him or whatever.
And but I also think, though, more elite grapplers were kind of starting to expose the Sambo a little bit.
Yeah, Sambo is definitely...
Like Fabricio, Bigfoot.
Kind of like grappling to bring into MMA.
No, I say judo, man, because how many judo motherfuckers try to do that judo flip thing, and then they just get choked out from the back?
If they do...
Judo trips are pretty...
If they train judo without the gis, then it works really well in MMA.
But nobody does that, though.
Well, like Ronda Rousey and Sexyama, they did, like, no-gi judo, so theirs worked in
But it's like,
MMA.
okay, so, like, Ronda comes up with a bunch of, like, she's the first wave of women fighters or whatever, and she beat a lot of, I would say, I'm not going to even say cans, because we still have people who are still in the top divisions, but, let's be honest, they're not.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that you're like,
yeah, like
well, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? And then let's be honest, Sexyama wasn't even close to a title.
No,
yeah, he was not even getting close.
That motherfucker didn't get tapped out or taken down very often.
Yeah, I don't think judo should be your main.
That's kind of like
skill,
it's kind of like
but
other
I feel
than
like there's good skills to learn from judo to help get taken.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just I'm tired of seeing the attempt of the hip
when
toss.
Most of the time, people can just overpower.
Yeah, and then the other person just trips your legs, and then you fall down, and then you just go.
You
just
set
get
the
choked.
trips up. You can't just brute force try to fucking throw them.
Yeah,
I mean some people can, but
yeah, and I was like, and then Ronda, that's the only thing she practiced. Like, yeah,
once she started getting away from that, that's when she started losing.
Yeah, when she started trying to
she was an elite striker.
Yeah,
that seems to be
but like Fedor, see, we haven't seen what happens when another good grappler takes Ronda to the ground. But we've seen what happens when a better grappler gets Fedor to the ground. I think Sambo works really well for, like, self-defense against other people that don't train wrestling.
I think it's also a good thing for, like, scrambling, because he doesn't lose many scrambles.
No.
Yeah, that is true. And
because, like, Dan Henderson,
Khabib and Islam do Sambo, and they're pretty good at scrambling.
Dan Henderson, he just a simple little wrestling, sweep, whoop, bam, knocked him out.
I still thought that was one of the sweetest, because I didn't see that coming.
No. Yeah,
like I didn't see Dan Henderson.
Oh, he's gonna slip out. Oh, he slipped out. Bam. We were like,
oh, he's out.
Yeah.
Also, Kevin Randleman was manhandling Fedor until he gassed.
That's true.
With his wrestling. He
was Kevin Randleman,
him.
another fucking juiced up. Yeah, Jesus. Jesus, that guy.
That dude was
if he didn't gas, he probably would have been Fedor's first loss early in Fedor's prime.
Oh man, yeah.
End of an era.
Good old Fedor.
None of those heavyweights really.
I mean, I'm not the biggest.
None of those heavyweights we talked about fight anymore. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think with Fedor being like now that he's retired, it's truly the end of that era. It's truly the end of the
actually.
I think
Frank Mir is still trying to hold on.
Oh my God!
Do boxing or something.
I hope not.
Okay, I don't.
Okay,
if they go do boxing,
that's a whole different thing.
There's still legends with glass chins trying to just take beatings.
But I'm counting that as like that MMA era.
Yeah, the MMA era, as far as the heavyweights as we know them, are gone.
So crazy
I still can't believe Ryan Bader is still fucking out here doing his dumb shit. I can't.
The fact that
he got his ass destroyed in the light heavyweight tournament, though.
The fact that motherfucker tries to say he's the best in the world, best heavyweight in the world, I'd wreck everyone in the UFC. Dude, your best victories are against, like, Fedor, old-ass dudes that can't fucking fight anymore.
Fedor, Czech Congo.
Yeah, get out of here. Shut up.
Literally,
You're lucky.
You think Ryan Bader has a shot in hell? We already know he can't beat John Jones. Cyril Gahn would destroy Ryan Bader.
He can't
not even be close.
He couldn't beat Glover.
Curtis Blades? Yeah. He's not beating Curtis Blades.
No.
Like, what the... No.
See, that brings me back to the John Jones point we were talking about him coming at the worst time. He doesn't want to see Curtis Blades. He doesn't want to see Sergey Pavlovich.
Is that the guy that hits like Francis?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's
Tom
crisp,
Aspinall,
too.
I feel like since his injuries, he's kind of flown under, but Tom Aspinall's about to come back.
Oh, man.
Good.
How do I fucking forget about Tom Aspinall?
Good.
He's really good.
We're finally getting in-shape heavyweights.
Yeah.
Crisp in-shape heavyweights, not just...
That's why, everyone wanted to see Pavlovich versus Francis, which would have been fun. But Cyril Gahn versus Tom Aspinall, man, that's going to be a masterclass of heavyweight striking right there.
Yeah.
Because, like, after Fabricio took the belt from Kane and then Stipe took the belt, it was like Stipe was the only one that can go pass around without fucking...
Yeah. I know. A 5-round freaking...
Because he's breathing all this smokeless air in the octagon. He's over here fucking choking down smoke.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, he's like, what? I can breathe. I can fight!
Yeah.
Oh, you know who else is really good with judo that I just now remembered? George St. Pierre. He did that judo throws a lot.
Yeah, yep.
He might have been...
But George is good at everything.
That's kind of what I was saying was like, he took
set it
parts of judo and mixed it in with his already really good wrestling.
It's like karate. You have to change the style. You're not just going to come in there with that flat foot fucking, you know.
I know, because even Lyoto tried the flat foot stuff, but he would always like start having to like move to get knockouts.
He didn't get great until he started using footwork and changing to like MMA more.
And then I feel like his downfall was because he went back to being flat footed and just standing there.
Well, he did get slow. He's old now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of get slow when you get put out a few times.
Yeah. Well, we're staying on MMA. Got a big fight this weekend. Pound for pound fight on the line. Champ status. Even though Islam shouldn't be number 2, he jumped the rankings way too fast. But, you know, whatever. Like we were talking about earlier, his biggest wins before Charles were Bobby Green on short notice and Dan Hooker on short notice.
Yeah, and those are two gatekeepers of the division, and you're like, And
they were both on losses when they fought him.
Yeah.
Man, this is gonna be weird.
They literally, because UFC controls their pound for pound rankings. Like, if you go on MMA Fighting or Sherdog's pound for pound, Islam's like 7th or 8th or something.
I feel like that's probably about right. I feel like he could be in that range.
How does he just like jump? You know,
because he has a title.
Aljo has a title.
But Aljo also got Phantom.
Islam?
Yeah.
Islam is lightweight.
I know, but he's the number 2 pound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
I can see him jumping Aljo.
How though?
Aljo got the belt off of a.
But he did beat Piotr Jan.
But the
it was still a close fight, though.
Rank him off of that.
I guess, but I wouldn't put.
But his win over Piotr Jan means so much more than any of Islam's wins,
except for Charles.
Islam.
I'll give you Charles.
Islam went for like pound for pound 15 all the way to 2 off of one fight.
Well, I don't think he should be
like
2.
6th.
I don't think he should be 2, but I mean Aljo. I just don't think Aljo's a good.
If we're talking pound for pound win streaks, he's won his last how many fights in a row? 5, 6
5,
fights
I think 5.
And Islam got knocked out in his second UFC fight.
I guess, but like Aljo's first title defense was.
All right, but Aljo was just
both of his title defenses are weird because you could say he arguably lost to Piotr Jan. You could say that. But then he couldn't put away a one-armed TJ Dillashaw. So I guess maybe he should slump down a little bit. But
how does he jump to 2 over
I don't
Leon,
think he should be 2.
who just knocked out the last pound for pound guy?
I don't think he should be 2.
Leon's on the longest win streak of like almost anybody.
And he's like 7th or 8th.
With
Dustin Poirier is above Leon Edwards.
That's a crime.
That's why, like,
I wasn't arguing that Islam should be number 2. I'm just saying Aljo should not be ranked that high. I don't think.
But I mean, if we're sticking to the criteria of what the pound for pound is supposed to be, he should be above Islam. I'm not saying Aljo should be 2, but he should be above Islam right now.
I guess
until Islam gets a couple title defenses under his belt.
I mean, Leon should definitely be.
Leon should be. You could make the point where he's number 1 because he's been on the longest win streak.
He's been on a long ass win streak.
Yeah.
They moved Islam to number 2 before Izzy lost the belt.
The only reason they put him in number 2 is to make this a super fight,
yeah.
which is stupid because if he beats way smaller Volkanovski, I don't care how much Volkanovski weighed when he was fat and out of shape. In shape, he's a tiny fucking person.
I get it, but
he's
he
like
also
what, 5'3"?
5'5", something like that.
He's short as fuck.
Yeah, but he did used to run the lightweight division in like the Australian circuit and stuff.
I guess. I mean, Islam
saying,
is
like,
a huge lightweight, and so but if he gets a hold of Volkanovski, it's going to be extremely hard.
But I will give Volkanovski one thing because he is shorter, and it's not like he's short, like he's not weak short. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a strong, stocky dude.
Yeah.
And shortness does kind of help in wrestling. Look at DC. I mean, DC used to throw around these 6'4" motherfuckers being 5'11". I'm just saying that's the one thing that I could see Volkanovski using is his short stockiness.
But it's not just short either. I've never seen Volkanovski against someone else and be like, damn, he's a big, featherweight. He's never been that big to me. He's just...
Now, he was looking pretty big against Max, though. But Max makes everybody...
Max is skinny, though.
He's kind of tiny.
Yeah.
Like against Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega looked a good amount
Brian
bigger.
Ortega always has looked massive. I feel like
Korean Zombie looked bigger than Volkanovski.
Yeah.
He's just a small guy.
And yet, God, beat all those guys. Isn't that fucking wild? Isn't that fucking wild?
He changed his style, too, to where he used to take a lot of punishment. He doesn't really take punishment anymore.
He's actually getting pretty good at his head movement and slipping.
They were doing the open workouts this week. If Volk can keep it on the feet, he's going to piece.
I mean, and Volkanovski actually has really good wrestling. It's just the size difference I'm worried about.
That's what I'm saying. If he can keep it up and not get taken down, Islam's striking compared to Volk's, it looks like a whole different level. Volk was way better.
We said that about Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, but Charles
looked like
Charles
shit
doesn't put pressure on and throw combos like Volk does.
Well, and then Charles is also notorious for getting rocked and then just pulling something out of his ass.
He looked like shit, honestly, against Islam. He was doing weird shit.
I usually don't buy the fact that they're like, I was having an off night. He was having an off night.
Because, like, everyone always talks about how he's, like, crisp and calculated and he's always like, but like he was doing flying knees and stupid kicks. It was like, what are you doing?
As soon as the fight started, he ran into that stupid kick. I'm like,
it's like, dude, just
as soon as he did that,
I was like, oh man, it's gonna be a quick night. Because I feel like
he felt like he wasn't ready or something was.
So he just tried to throw shit
out
of
there quick,
But if Volkanovski wins, I think he is up for an argument of one of the best of all time.
Yeah,
because but I don't think it's the same for Islam because a smaller guy is coming up.
No, yeah, definitely not.
So it's different, like
you
beat a smaller guy.
If Islam goes up and he becomes a champ. All right, I'll give you.
I feel like Islam's, he's on like a 10-fight win streak right now compared to Volk's 22-11 in the UFC.
Fighting a bigger guy.
and he's also and Volkanovski's track record is and we all know how much him beating Max all those times really made me because I love Max.
Yeah.
The first fight was close.
And he's defended the belt 5 times.
And they've all been against like the best guys.
He beat Jose Aldo. He beat Chad Mendes. He beat the Korean Zombie. He beat Brian Ortega. He beat Max Holloway 3 times. I mean, granted, I think the second fight was Max's all the way, but
I think so too.
The
first fight was close. The second fight I thought should have gone to Max, and the third fight you can't
just dominate.
Like we were saying with the Brandon Moreno Figueiredo trilogy before it was the quadrilogy. Only one of them ever had a dominant fight, and that one was Volk.
Yep.
He's literally outclassed.
And
that's what's scary is even as the champ, he's getting better every fight. It seems like crazy. Like most time when people become champ, they kind of just stay where they are, or kind of digress a little bit even. But he seems to like still be trying to get better.
He's kind of like Henry Cejudo without the douchiness, like because as Henry Cejudo started getting more and more fights, you're like, damn, he's starting to put all this shit together. Why is he so douchey? Like, what? I would love to root for you because you're a good fighter, but damn, you're so cringy and like, I
feel like Henry is also another guy that kind of got gifted a little bit. Like Demetrius was winning the first 2 rounds, and then he broke his foot in the middle of the fight, and then TJ drained himself like a motherfucker and was weak. And then
Sergio
Marlon Moraes
was
gassed himself out. And then he got gifted old-ass fucking one-legged Dominic Cruz. I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. I'm just saying a little bit of...
But he just started putting stuff together.
And
I really wanted that third fight. I wanted that third fight with Mighty Mouse. How the fuck did they not give him an immediate rematch? He had how many title defenses? Like 10?
Because he spoke out against them, and if you speak out against them, they try to give.
And then they traded him for Ben Flop Askren. God,
which, the best thing the UFC got out of the Ben
was
Askren
Jorge
trade
Masvidal.
was Jorge's stardom.
Yeah, they made more money from Ben Askren getting knocked out by Jorge Masvidal than they did his whole rest of the career.
He literally came to the UFC, got destroyed by Robbie Lawler, and got gifted a win.
Yeah, that was a weird. I remember watching that. And we're like, is he out? I don't think so. Wait, it's over?
And he gives him a thumbs up, and we're like...
And he was like, oh, even Herb Dean said, oh, man, I'm sorry.
Hey, man, my bad. I'm so sorry.
And then he got knocked out fast as ever, choked to sleep
got
by Damian Maia.
pieced up on the feet by Damian Maia.
Yeah. That's why when he signed the Jake Paul fight, I was like, you got outstruck by Damian Maia.
Yeah, there's no way. And then when he got put out, it was like, we all saw that coming. We all saw that coming.
The next worst thing would have been getting outstruck by Jake Shields.
Yeah.
Which he might have.
He would have.
He's probably the worst striker in MMA history.
Jake Shields?
No, Ben Askren.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He literally runs forward like...
He throws punches like a rock'em sock'em robot.
He does.
Yeah, and he's stiff and his chin's all out. I'm like, you're begging to get knocked out.
I don't even know how he gets takedowns, honestly. The way he, goes in on double A's, he's so fucking
And he
stiff.
always reminds me of an old man, because you know how for some reason old men walk, with their ass out?
Yeah.
He just... Why do you walk like that?
And when he's,
your hips?
Yeah, his posture is atrocious.
Usually wrestlers are down low, but he's, straight up, fucking way back, like a
with a
karate
fucking target on his chin.
Yeah, literally, he's begging to get fucking a straight right to the jaw.
God. He had the nerve to say...
I just like the way you said the absolute gumption of
that
this
he
dude.
would beat George St. Pierre. When he was the
get
champ.
the fuck out of here.
That's what he said when
There's
he was
no
the champ
way.
at, what was it?
One.
He was like, I would beat George St. Pierre. You're out of your mind.
George St. Pierre would have...
You would not have beat him in anything. You couldn't have beat him in striking.
That could have been George's easiest fight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure. Because you couldn't beat George in striking. No. You couldn't beat George in wrestling. No. You're not going to beat him in BJJ. You're not going to beat him anywhere. Yeah. Where are you? You're gonna try. You're gonna because I know one sometimes does the tie rules or whatever. You have to do the clinching or whatever. It's
it just depends.
Yeah, I know it just depends. But even if you were to, do you really want to be in the clinch with George St. Pierre?
That's what's so crazy to me is George St. Pierre's in the topic of greatest wrestlers, and he wasn't even a wrestler.
He started off as a striker.
He started wrestling after to get better. I should probably learn this now that I'm the champion, and he's fucking became one of the best wrestlers ever.
Yeah, he's the best all-around MMA.
I feel like he's the best student of the game.
Oh yeah.
Any time that he was like, oh man, I should probably learn how to choke somebody out, and then he's just goes on a streak of 3 people where you're like, dang, he's really putting it together.
I kind of hate that, for one, USADA came so late, because that's one of the reasons he retired, because he hated that everyone could still juice.
Like Johnny Hendricks, he would have not taken that Johnny Hendricks beating if Johnny Hendricks was tested.
And then he also hated Dana White and his politics and the shitty way he ran things. So it's those two things made him not like the sport anymore, to where he left. And it's imagine if he never fell out of love with the sport.
Because who comes up in the welterweight division right after that? Because I don't think he'd be fighting
Robbie
right now.
Lawler,
But
Robbie Lawler became champ after. Tyron Woodley.
Oh, see, I would have loved to see Tyron Woodley against him. And then you, like I said, I don't think he'd be fighting now, but maybe you get an early, Darren Till. Maybe you get an early Darren Till.
Stephen Thompson.
Yeah,
I think George wrecked Stephen Thompson.
Probably.
Oh, especially because Stephen Thompson doesn't know how to wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I would have liked to see him fight Tyron Woodley. I would have liked to see him fight. Maybe he would have fought early days Kamaru.
George versus Rob would have been.
Yeah, George versus prime Robbie Lawler.
I can't believe we didn't get that. Because Robbie Lawler, he was
just like 2 trains.
Literally, just passed right there.
Because Robbie Lawler's resurgence as George's.
And you knew it too. When George was gonna retire, you knew it leading up to the Johnny Hendricks fight. He kept saying, "I'm tired of answering all the same questions. All these interviews. It's always the same thing."
Yeah, no matter what I say, nothing changes.
He was just tired of it at that point.
Yeah.
And then he took that beating for fucking cheating.
We could obviously see
Johnny
that he
Hendricks.
still had the skill because he came back a weight class up and won the belt.
He beat Michael Bisping after not fighting for 5 years or 3 years.
And Michael Bisping used to be a light heavyweight.
Yeah.
Michael Bisping in those.
Michael Bisping's not a slouch because he got talk about somebody who got better as they got older. Michael Bisping.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Fucking.
He got smart.
Yeah. Stopped fighting like a brawler and that's in those press conferences and face to faces. Michael Bisping was a good amount bigger than George.
George was big though.
George was big.
Wide. He was.
That's why it's
very stocky.
Crazy to think God, Michael Bisping's huge.
Yeah,
he's
Michael Bisping's a big dude. When he's standing next to DC and shit.
Way bigger than DC.
He's big.
Yeah, he's a big one.
He's got to be walking around 220, 230.
But also we got the co-main, Yair and Josh Emmett for the.
Is that the co-main? I thought is Valentina fighting this weekend?
That's the John Jones card.
That's right. That's
I have to wait
I kind of feel
even longer to see the love of my life, Valentina. Oh God, I love her. If I could just have both.
I feel like they're both such different too.
I'm sorry,
as you can tell, I'm very. I don't have a type. Maybe I just like white bitches. I don't know. Maybe that's just what it is.
But looks-wise, Nikita Lyons blows Shevchenko out of the water.
I think it's because Shevchenko could legit kick my ass, and for some reason that gives me a boner. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm just like, wow, she could shoot me in the face at any time she wants to. She could put me in a triangle, and I would pass out in her thighs. It would be amazing. Don't get me wrong. Nikita Lyons could literally stink face me, and I would be just fine. I'd be like, this is the greatest day of my life. I would write home about it. I'd be like, Mom, the greatest thing just happened.
She weighs half as much as Rikishi, but has just the big of ass.
Yeah, right.
And she'd do that, and then I'd come out looking like Mr. T. I'd just be darker. She's like, what happened? I'm Nikita Lyons, man, it was a rough day for her, but a great day for me.
Anyways.
Oh, sorry. Back to non-boners.
Yair and Josh Emmett. Went from that to talking about Valentina and Nikita.
Yair versus Josh Emmett sounds fun, but I don't care that much about it. I think Yair's gonna whoop his ass.
I care about it just because it determines who's next for Volk at 145. If Volk stays, if he wins the belt, I think he's just gonna go up.
I don't understand why he would go up though.
I don't think
If he beats Islam, I think he'll stay up.
But there's just so many big people there that I just don't know how.
But I mean,
long
if you could beat
could...
Islam, you could probably beat any of them.
That's
I guess
not
it just
necessarily because Dustin Poirier, if Dustin Poirier starts putting his hands on you, you're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah. But I just don't think they're moving up and down and cutting weight and not cutting weight as much. It's it just doesn't work. It's gonna.
If he wins the belt, he's gonna have to do something.
Why does this have to be for a belt? Why can't it just be hey, this is for who's the better
bragging
fighter.
Rights.
Yeah. Because then let Islam keep the belt and defend it or whatever.
Because now you're literally forcing the hand and holding up two divisions. At least one division. You're holding up at least one division.
Well, but this guy on Twitter made a good point that this is the dumbest and least deserving interim title of all time because Volk hasn't been out that long.
Yeah, Josh Emmett and
he
Yair.
can come back and defend the 145-pound belt in a couple months.
And then
there's no point for an interim belt. And Arnold Allen is on a 10-fight win streak.
And Calvin Kattar got ripped off against Josh Emmett. This should be Calvin Kattar versus Yair Rodriguez.
God damn it, would I love to see that.
Yeah. But speaking of Arnold Allen, April 15th, Arnold Allen versus Max Holloway.
This is going to be the fight.
Test if Arnold Allen's the real deal.
And this is also going to be the fight that shows if
Max still has it.
Because I think, I'm telling you, man, ever since that Yair Rodriguez fight, that fight is when he started not looking the same. I don't know if it's the no sparring bullshit. Something is off. I don't know if it's all the wars he's been in.
It's all the Call of Duty, man. He's just really
into that has to be something.
It's just really into that shit.
Kyler Murray effect.
Yeah,
it's just so weird to me that he's like, oh yeah, I don't do full contact sparring anymore, blah, blah, blah. That's fine, whatever. But no sparring at all? And then all of a sudden you start looking like shit. You're getting tired. Yeah. The guy who's known for having the best gas tank.
And literally throwing and landing the most punches in a fight in UFC history. And you're like...
All of a sudden he's getting tired and he looks sloppy and he's missing punches. There's something off.
I think he's just living the dad life.
Maybe it's a combination of a bunch of things, but...
And he's fought a lot and he's been in
a lot of wars.
But that Calvin Kattar performance... Because Calvin Kattar is a great fucking striker.
Yeah.
And he made him look.
He
made him look silly. Not even looking at him.
I get that Calvin Kattar took like 300 strikes or whatever the hell it was. He had 300 significant strikes, but he also did land 120 on Max. Yeah. So Max still took some punishment in that fight. The Jose Aldo fight was.
But you also have to remember they count everything that's not a jab as significant strikes.
I mean, true.
Glancing shots.
I mean, shit. I still don't want to take 120
Max
jabs. I still don't want to take 120 jabs.
Well, no, I'm just saying. It's just I don't know. I'm not saying Max would for sure beat Volkanovski. You know, if he was the same, but he definitely didn't look great. Yeah. And he didn't look good against Yair Rodriguez. And I'm not trying to like discredit those guys, but you can just tell he looked off.
And don't get me wrong. I hope Max figures out his shit and
maybe he just doesn't have that fire anymore.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like.
But I think Yair will win that fight.
I think Yair dominates.
I think he's too diverse for Josh Emmett.
I think Josh Emmett looks like the bad guys from Blade 2. Like, you know,
shit.
Yeah. Nice. That's a good prediction. That's your prediction for the fight.
Yeah, he'll be stabbed in the face by Blade.
Wesley Snipes gonna come to the ring.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be Curtis Blades. He's like, oh god, what's going on?
Wesley Snipes Blades.
That's what we should start calling him if he allows us to do that.
Curtis Wesley Blades.
Yeah. And then in the main event, I think.
I want to say Volkanovski, but I really am worried about that size.
I think Islam will win, but I really hope.
I'm just gonna go with who I hope to win, and that's gonna be Volkanovski.
I'm gonna say Volk.
It's who do I think would win? Holy shit, that's such a hard question because there's so many different factors, and you're like, well, there's the size factor, there's the if Volkanovski can keep it standing, or have we seen Islam off his back?
No.
He's never really fought a grappler.
So, who knows?
If I do think Volkanovski is the better fighter, it's just that size difference, man. If he gets a hold of Volkanovski,
will it be an Izzy effect where he's just too much size to go up against and just can't stop the takedowns?
I'm hoping his short stockiness helps with his wrestling. Because wrestling's always the lower person. It's always the lower man.
Yeah. He has great wrestling. He's probably the best wrestler in that division. It's just that fucking size difference, man. Yeah. I really hope he can stuff the takedowns or at least get up if he gets taken down.
Maybe he's just training those flying knees. And
that'd be great. If he knocked him out in like fucking 10 seconds.
That would be hilarious, but I would much rather a 5-round ass kicking.
Yeah. Or at least show like,
that would be nice.
Even if you knock him out in like the first round, but like 3 minutes of like dominance to show you're the best.
I always like ponder this question though. What looks worse to the casual crowd? Because we know a 5-round... To the casual, it's 100% a fast knock. Yeah, I was going to say a 5-round dominating ass beating, we're like, man, he had no chance. But then the crowd's like, oh, it was a decision. But then like a 10-second knockout, they're like, oh man, get him out of there. He's a piece of shit anyway. Like, I hate casuals.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, because with anything with like a knockout, it's like, oh, he got caught or whatever. Like you could always just be like, I didn't see that shit coming, and you just got caught. But a 5-round ass kicking, it's like, hey man, I threw everything at this guy, and he blocked everything. Pop. And you're like, I don't know. That seems worse to me.
Yeah.
Especially taking all the damage and you can't get your lights turned off or whatever.
Yeah, one punch, you know, you get to recover from that one punch. But if you're taking like 200 something punches, just beaten and bloody, it's just
that looks worse to me.
That's harder to come back from. I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Some people when they get knocked out.
I guess it depends on the knockout. Yeah.
Like that Usman knockout. There's a lot of questions about Usman now because that's like. Yeah. At his age.
At his age, being the first time and it being so clean, where you're like, damn, did you just find a
like staring at the lights? Just
I mean, it was bad.
Who else?
That's a bad knockout.
It was.
And then there's some other ones where you're not fully out or whatever, and they
like Izzy and Pereira. Like I'm not like Izzy's chin is gonna be trash now. It's not one of those knockouts.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't get put out.
Yeah.
It was more, it's more TKO. He didn't get knocked out, but that Usman one was so clean that that opens up a lot of questions. Like, does he still have that chin? And I'm excited to see that. That's one I'm really excited.
They did something on the MMA Hour yesterday that I feel like we should do. Out of the next 4 pay-per-views, Volk Islam, Jones gone, Leon Usman 3, and Izzy Pereira.
Ooh.
How would you rank those in like best, like most anticipated? I'd say Leon Usman 3 for me is 1. I'd probably say John Jones gone 2, just because I want to finally see what the hell he's gonna do.
You mean wait, John Jones versus Gone?
I don't know. I said 2.
Oh,
No, because I put it.
Because he put it at number 2.
Okay.
And then I'd probably put Izzy Pereira, just because I know Izzy can beat Pereira. It's just a matter of can he.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd probably put this one just because I feel like out of those fights, Volk has the lowest chance of making something crazy happen. Like all those other ones, I feel like Volk has a really good chance.
I would agree with that.
Volk has the least amount chance of winning out of all of the other guys.
I might just switch. I might switch your 1 and number 2 because I'm. As far as...
Which I feel most people would.
Yeah, because I really want to see Jones, and I'm happy that they didn't give him a fucking can and gave him Cyril Gane. Like,
I feel like I just got so tired of waiting for him and hearing him talk and never coming back, and so it kind of soured me.
Yeah.
But I am excited to see what happens.
And I really want to see Izzy Pereira, but the only thing that's going to bother me is that shit, if Izzy loses, there's nothing left for this motherfucker to do.
Especially if he's, like, beating his ass for rounds again and then gets, like, knocked out again or something. It's like, dude.
Because he can't go up. We already saw he can't go up. Yeah. Like, he can't be a heavyweight. He can't cut any more weight and go down. So, and then he's already beaten everybody but Pereira. Yeah. There's nothing for him to do except to go fight Jake Paul. There's nothing for him to do.
That's why, like I do like Izzy, but I wouldn't say I'm like a huge Izzy fan. But I did feel sad after he lost. Cause I was like, man, he was winning. Like I would
tough
feel so
break.
Bad.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody have
against one guy.
Yeah, exactly. I've never seen anybody have somebody's number like that, where you're like, what the fuck?
Like, how? Like 4 rounds of a pretty clear ass beating, and then
if it's 10 rounds, you won 9 of them.
Yeah, and
you just keep getting put out in the last one.
Last chance.
God damn it.
And like,
or develop a killer instinct and finish this motherfucker.
That's the thing.
That's what I'm begging for. That maybe this will just unlock what he used to have, and he's just going to come out and put him out.
Yeah, stop this wrestling bullshit. You're not a wrestler.
He has to focus on striking.
And his cardio. He
has to fucking plant his feet.
If you rock him like you did in the first round, put him away.
Okay, but that wasn't... He dropped him at the end. The bell literally saved Pereira.
But then he rocked him again in the second and didn't go for it.
He didn't rock him in the second.
I'm pretty sure there was another time in the fight where he stumbled him.
I mean, he might have stumbled him a little.
Still, he was just
not as bad as the end of the first.
Yeah, I think he needs to put pressure on Pereira because it doesn't seem like I feel like, and then I might be ignorant because I don't watch Pereira. I haven't watched Pereira's like kickboxing or anything, but it doesn't seem like he does good going backwards.
No, and
he's
definitely a pressure.
He doesn't have good defense at all. He gets hit a lot, even in kickboxing.
He just hits hard and has a good chin.
That's his. I don't even know if his chin's that good. I've seen him get rocked and dropped a lot.
But yeah, I don't think he's ever been knocked out clean.
Maybe, but
I think he only lost twice.
I was like, maybe we need to get fucking Bobby Knuckles in here and show him what some power is.
Like, supposedly.
And then what happened with Izzy?
Might be happening.
Who?
Robert and Chimaev.
Oh.
Because Chimaev called him out. He said Colby went running.
Finally.
He said Colby went running, so let's make it bad guy versus nice guy. And Robert said, okay.
Yeah, all right, mate.
Yeah, he said, I'm waiting for a fight. This fight makes sense.
Fuck yeah.
He said, I'll derail a hype train before I get my belt.
I know we always say it, but poor Robert Whittaker. Poor Robert Whittaker. If it's not for Izzy, like,
he's
damn.
begging for Pereira to win.
Yeah, so he can get a fucking shot at it. Because, yeah, what are you going to make?
Because then it's also like if Izzy wins, they're going to run it back again.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. If Izzy knocks him out, like, clean and early, like, dominates him.
But there's no other fight for Izzy in that division.
I don't want to see Izzy and Pereira again. I'm tired of all rematches, honestly. I mean,
but that's the problem, because he won't have another fight in that division.
I don't want to see him versus Robert again either.
There's nothing for him unless they bring in a whole fucking. You're gonna have to do a tough season just to like what they did with
for that.
Demetrius Johnson.
I guess if Izzy beats Pereira and then like Chimaev beats Robert, then we got to fight there. But
oh yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting about Chimaev. Like that's.
He better be serious about it. They better not offer him it. He's I'm not ready or
Robert already said yes the first time. Then he was like, I don't want to fight Robert Whittaker. He's too nice. Shut
Nobody
the fuck
wants
up.
to fight.
If I'm Robert, I'd be like,
Whittaker.
give me the contract right now. And if you don't sign it, don't ever say my name again.
Yeah, keep my name out your fucking mouth.
But alright, so looks like I'll just say Volk because I want him to win too. So I guess we're all Volk and Yair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the rest of the card is kind of trash.
I know. I was looking at that earlier, and I was like, "Oh man, that is a rough.
Heavy,
yeah, that is a rough card."
I mean, there's Menifield and Cruz. Okay,
I feel like they could have took.
Is that Dominic Cruz?
No, Cruz.
Oh, you said Crute.
Oh,
I like Jimmy
That
Crute.
Parker Porter dude's interesting.
Tafa.
Oh, he's fighting.
Yeah, he's fighting Porter.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
Oh. But that dude, he's been an underdog all 5 of his UFC fights, and he's finished the guy every time.
Let's keep it rolling. Then.
Yeah. Right.
And then Randy Brown. I don't know. This card's kind of.
Randy Brown was supposed to be fighting. What's his name? Jack Della Maddalena. That fucking French dude. But he pulled out with injury.
Man, even the prelims are kind of.
I know. I feel like they could have took a couple fights from that John Jones card and threw them on this.
I think they just want as many people to watch John Jones as possible.
But I feel like with a name like John Jones or like Conor McGregor, you kind of don't have to stack it that much. People are gonna buy it. Like the last Conor McGregor fight, Dustin 3. I'm pretty sure the rest of that card was pretty bad. I can't remember any.
I can't remember that card.
The first one was pretty good, or the second Dustin Poirier
it was
fight.
great
because that had like Michael Chandler and Dan Hooker on it, and I know the other fight was something else.
Oh, can we talk about the Tough Season? The Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah.
Oh, man, how exciting is that going to be? That's going to be McGregor
and I heard last night that it's supposed to be veterans versus prospects.
Whoa, I'm down with that.
The most exciting part for me is that it's not fucking Tony Ferguson.
Hey,
I was like, if they...
You gotta admit, it would have been an entertaining season if it was Tony
It would have been filled with alcoholism and schizophrenia.
Tony Ferguson has so much brain damage that
he's out here throwing horseshoes at people, trying to get them to dodge it.
You can dodge a horseshoe, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah, you can dodge a fist. Ding.
I have a question, Tony. Yeah, you queer bait.
But yeah, it is pretty exciting. It's that first Ultimate Fighter season. I feel like anybody's gonna give a shit about for 10 years. So.
And I'm super excited for that fight. I mean, McGregor Chandler. Yes, that's what I was. And that's on our. I think it was our first or second episode. That's who I wanted. Yeah. I was so excited.
I will have a hot take. I'm not proud to say. I don't think they fight this year still.
I was thinking something happens and they're not going to fight.
Because Conor's still not in the testing pool.
Hey, can I ask you a question, Christian? Why the fuck would you say that? Why would you take that from me?
Conor McGregor's still not in the testing pool, which is...
I don't care. Let them both juice. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
I would be there too, but fortunately the commissions don't work like that. And they can't even agree on a weight. It's welterweight, is it lightweight? Dana White's saying lightweight now. Conor McGregor says he's not cutting to lightweight. It's always something.
I can't believe he actually thinks he can fight at welterweight. Yeah, you ballooned up with a bunch of muscle and steroids, but come on, Kamaru Usman and shit, they're so much bigger than you. Kamaru Usman gets older than you.
But for the sake of this, we'll talk as if it's going to happen.
Why would you say that? Now I'm sitting here. Now the wind's taken out of my sails. I'm just sitting here thinking about what if.
I still think if Conor takes it serious, trains his ass off, let's say he's finally that he'll whoop Michael Chandler's ass.
It might be another Eddie Alvarez situation.
I don't think it'll be as bad as that, but
I hope it's an Aldo situation, Jose Aldo, except it's reversed. I hope fucking McGregor comes out.
That would make me laugh. That would make me laugh.
Slapped.
That would be funny.
I want another Michael Chandler front kick.
Michael Chandler definitely hits hard, but
he is good at getting in the distance. I'll give him that.
He is good at closing distance. Like he has the quick. He might have the quickest first step in MMA. Like just a go in.
That's why I feel like Iron Michael Chandler is a pretty good nickname because he
gets in there.
Inside, yeah. But it's just a matter of like.
And we've also seen McGregor get put out. I mean, granted, we've seen Michael Chandler get put out. So we've seen McGregor get put out.
Conor took a lot of punches from one of the hardest hitters though to finally get knocked out.
But that's the same. It's the same thing that we always talk about. Who knows if he got? That's the button.
A lot of Dustin Poirier's knockouts are like that because he doesn't put all his power.
Well, I was just about to say that about Michael Chandler too. The only person he's put out clean in the UFC was
Tony.
No. Oh yeah, I forgot about that kick.
I was gonna say Dan Hooker was out.
Well,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
God,
then,
I forgot. Yeah.
Charles, he dropped him. Dustin, he didn't drop him at all.
He wobbled him.
Justin
Yeah,
Gaethje, he didn't
caught him a
drop him.
couple.
He rocked him, I guess, a
He
couple times,
rocked
but he
him,
didn't
too.
drop him.
But Justin Gaethje's hard motherfucker to knock out. Even Dustin Poirier, how many punches did it take for him to knock out Justin Gaethje?
Well, Eddie Alvarez put him out.
Well, that's
That
another
was
fight.
me, though.
That's another fight. I think Connor knocks out Justin Gaethje.
You shut your goddamn mouth. What?
I just watched.
Is this just Hate Adam Day?
No.
Is just Hate Adam's favorite fighters day?
If I'm watching their fights, and then you go and watch Connor's highlights and just how they
But you
run
have
in
to
with their
watch-
hands down, and Connor.
But
will
you
just,
have to watch
But
Connor's
it has to
later
be-
fights.
I was gonna
The
say.
later fights are what he is now.
It's a
He's not as crisp now.
It's a big
Because if you
question
look,
mark.
he even when he throws his punches, because remember he used to be really clean, but now he's leaning and then like throwing weird
He does
shit.
look different.
He looks so much
he was
different now.
cracking Dustin in that second fight.
Third fight.
The second fight.
Yeah, that was the second
Oh,
one.
in the beginning of
Yeah,
the
at the
second fight.
beginning.
In the
yeah.
first round, because we were like, oh man.
But
he
then,
might whip
but then
Dustin's
Dustin
ass.
started getting that timing because, as like I said, he kept throwing wild, so he would step in and throw his left, and he's like, "I got you, I
Once
got it
Conor
now."
McGregor's pretty much found out kryptonite leg kicks, and Justin Gaethje kicked the shit out of his legs.
Oh man, yeah, his leg, and especially the way he
But
stands too.
the way Justin stands with his hands down, he's not fast at all. And Connor cracks him with that left hand once. It might be over. I'm just saying.
Same thing with Gaethje's uppercut. You come in and bam, it might be over.
But
Who the
that's
fuck-
if
I love this
Connor-
division.
That's if
he can
Connor
get back to
slugs
like
with him.
2016 Connor, then maybe.
But I think
Well,
that
that's what I'm saying though. If he stops the drinking and the cocaine and all that shit and trains,
I feel like Connor, you should do more cocaine.
yeah.
I feel like you should do
if
more.
if he's
Look what
just
it did for John.
That's
if
right.
he's the
champion.
same Connor that's been around for the past 6 years, then
Yeah,
he's
no
not gonna
chance.
he's gonna lose.
I think
just-
I
I
think
just-
Connor's heyday is just. I think. It's
Yeah, I just think
And his
Too much-
heyday's gone because of his own shit.
yeah,
Because he's a piece of
too
shit.
much fame and money just ruined it.
Right? It's like, dude, you were the top of the sport, and then you lost to Floyd. Whatever. Everybody loses to Floyd. Who gives a shit? But then you didn't fight forever.
Yeah, and then you come back and you're just not
Against
taking
an
it
old
serious.
cowboy who in a fucking
Yeah, and then his next fight that he came back was fucking Khabib, and literally,
domination.
got
he
destroyed.
showed up drunk to the press conference. It's like you can just tell he's. I never thought he was like as amazing as people thought, but he's definitely a lot better.
I think
than
even
what
if he
he's-
came and trained for that fight, right? I think Khabib would still win.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he would have been dropped by that right hook.
Maybe.
I don't think he would have been dropped
do
by
think he
that.
would've
But
just-
I don't know. So
Mauled him.
people are so afraid of Khabib's takedown that when he does that,
I know
Everyone's reaction
he
is-
dropped his hands and then just came over the top, and caught him.
Shit.
That was one of the cleanest punches because nobody saw that coming.
No.
Nobody
Yeah.
saw him knocking down McGregor. It was like,
Not on
oh
the feet.
shit, like oh shit.
Well, and that's what also everyone is like. Connor clearly won that second round. I'm like, how?
Wasn't that the round when Khabib was? That's when he dropped him, isn't it?
No, it was a third.
Third,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
third is where he caught him.
Well, so then the second round was the one where he was
Just
on
on
top of him, just fucking.
Yeah.
And Dominic's like, he's using his face to tire Khabib out. You're an idiot.
Hey, good old Dominic Cruz and Michael Bisping this weekend. Commentary team.
I'm fine with that because I feel like one of these days
I'm pretty sure.
Because
Michael
Michael
Bisping's
Bisping-
gonna
yeah.
knock his bitch
Michael
ass
Bisping's
down.
one of the only ones that's like, you know what, Dominic? Shut up. Like,
You don't know as much as you fucking think.
yeah.
There's only one time that listening to Dominic Cruz really made me laugh, when he got Cody really mad.
His
What am
trash,
I talking about?
His trash
Like-
talk's pretty funny, but
His
yeah.
trash talk versus Cody and TJ were like really funny because he's like, I've been chasing.
I'm done
pussy.
talking.
I haven't chased pussy my whole life. I'm not gonna start this weekend.
What are you talking about?
What are you
talking about?
He just starts laughing.
And he's like, I don't have to talk to you. You have to talk to me. I'm sitting right here.
Yeah,
We're
that was
doing an
TJ.
interview."
It was TJ. He's like, I'm done talking. What do you mean you're done talking?
He's
You
like,
have to talk. You're sitting right here,
dummy.
dummy. You know, TJ's like, I'm fucking.
Or when he was like,
"Oh, I'm
He was
gonna
like-
take some fucking steroids and
When-
beat the shit out of
he
you.
was, he was talking to Cody and he's like, don't be mad just because your girl's in my DMs. Keep your freak on a leash. And Cody was like, man, let me over there to the other room. Because I guess supposedly Cody's girlfriend like DM'd Dominic Cruz or something, but I feel like it was like a Conor McGregor situation.
Yeah,
where,
she was talking shit or something.
Yeah, she was either talking shit to him or like Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier's wife, was trying to be like, hey, where's that money?
Yeah, I didn't think Cody was gonna do Dom like that. Did Dom dirty.
greatest one fight performance in history.
Yeah, he literally pieced up the person who we thought was unpieceable.
His own game. He beat him at his own game.
Was head movement, couldn't get touched.
He was like, man, you know how great I look? I'm never going to fight like that again.
But then his next couple fights was like, that's it. It was fucking... yeah.
And then just...
Yeah.
Which he did. He did almost have TJ.
He did almost have TJ, and then I don't know if he gassed himself, but
no,
I don't.
He got his punch just barely missed, and TJ's
caught it. Oh, that's right, because it was when TJ was like against the cage, and then you just see his eyes just look up at the thing. He's like, oh shit!
And then he was all wobbled, got head kicked, and then it was bad.
Oh man, poor Cody. God damn.
Supposedly he's training with fucking Islam and them in Dagestan.
He's just
Cody Garbrandt? He's just gonna be a wrestler now?
That's what he was.
That's what he started out as.
A wrestler?
He was
no,
a wrestler.
Wasn't he good? He won the Golden Gloves and shit.
No, I swear he was a state champion wrestler.
Maybe, but he won like the Golden Gloves and he was like boxing and
the state champion in Alaska. It was like 5 people.
Yeah, for real.
I will say, what was his little buzzer? Wrestling? What was his buzzer beater knockout against?
Rafael Sunsao.
Oh,
he literally had his hand.
Fucking Roy Jones Jr. That shit brought it all the way back.
He literally held the fence. And
everybody, including us, were like, "Oh man, is Cody back?"
Nope.
His very next fight, Brawlin gets caught.
Yeah, and then didn't he call out Sugar Sean O'Malley? Didn't he call him? And it's like, man, why would you want to get beat up like that?
In that Rafael Sunsao fight, he was crisp, he was moving, and look what happened. And then the next fight, he's just fucking. It's like, well, fucking why? You know you can be one of the best. He keeps
saying, I'm trying to figure out what's wrong. Stop brawling. What do you mean? It's clear as day.
Use your footwork and head movement, you idiot. It's literally
Stop letting your emotions get the fucking best of you.
It's like that meme of fucking Eric Andre shooting himself in the chair, and it's like, what's wrong? He's like, I can't remember what the meme is. It's like, I think the one I seen was like
managers, why can't we keep...
Yeah, corporate shooting the employees, everybody quitting.
Why can't we keep employees?
And that's like Cody Garbrandt shooting himself. Why can't I win fights?
It's like,
yeah, because you keep doing it to yourself, dude. God. I feel so bad for Cody because he's not...
But I also feel bad because, I don't know, man. I don't know if TJ just didn't get caught doing what he was doing or what. Because what if he was just doing that and just like... destroyed Cody Garbrandt.
Definitely was.
Yeah, I mean, what if he literally is the reason why Cody doesn't have a chin anymore because his steroid using ass.
I mean,
knocked it out.
Yeah.
Look what really happened. Everyone says, "Oh, it's because of fucking what's his name, the coach, Dwayne Ludwig." No, because look at TJ's career before. And all of a sudden he starts getting cut and knocking people out and
he ruined fucking Hendon Barao.
Yeah,
ruined him.
Yeah.
Because remember, Hendon Barao was a fucking killer. He was a killer. He
was a monster.
Hendon Barao still has the longest undefeated streak in MMA history.
Jesus Christ, that guy was an absolute monster. And then
he ruined him.
Yep. Fucking.
Sure
he should have had a longer punishment. Honestly, he should have been banned permanently because he ruined careers.
Good careers. Oh man,
that's actually kind of fucked
up. The only career I don't
it.
mind him ruining would be like what? Oh God, what's his
Henry
name?
Cejudo.
Oh sure,
well, he didn't.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he launched his career into the stratosphere. Thanks, TJ. God, you asshole.
Yeah,
all the people I want you to beat, you just rocket them into stardom like Aljo. You're like, I didn't want Aljo to win. Like, I hate that guy. And then who's the oh my God, I'm thinking the California kid. What's his name?
Uriah Faber.
I would not because I don't give a shit about Uriah Faber. I'm like, go ahead, knock his head around. I don't give a shit.
I love Uriah Faber.
I don't give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck about Uriah Faber. It's because any time that I wanted Uriah to win, didn't.
Yeah, that's
didn't. What a motherfucker.
But you want to talk about a full circle rivalry that should have played out in a fight is TJ and Uriah.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, that they should have. Out of all the bullshit.
After they announced the Conor McGregor tough season, BT Sport put up his best moments from his first tough season when him and Uriah were coaches. Man, he was calling that TJ shit the whole time. How did he know? before everybody else.
Because apparently it wasn't a secret. Apparently that shit was not a secret. Because a lot of people called
the rest of it.
Because a lot of people called TJ out like, oh, he's just fucking using steroids and shit. A lot of people
about
being a snake.
Oh, being a snake. Oh, yeah.
Leaving, because he was still training with Uriah and them, but somehow Connor knew. He was like
deep down, Uriah knew. He just doesn't want to publicly yeah.
He was like, "Where's that little snake?" He's like, "He came over. You brought him up from high school, taught him everything he knows. He finds one new coach, and now he's leaving your ass." And Uriah was like, "Oh yeah, you're so sure about that?" He was like, "Everybody's sure about that. You're the only blind dumbass that doesn't know about it."
He's like,
Uriah's just like, that's one thing. Uriah Faber sucks at trash talk.
Uriah Faber's trash talk's all right.
Oh man,
he's like, I don't know. I don't know about.
That was Connor in his prime, though.
I mean,
like,
even some press conferences, Uriah Faber couldn't. Dominic Cruz was always trash talking.
I mean, some of his trash talk, he would trash talk, but then use his other fighters. And he's like, TJ's gonna knock that ass out, and you're like, you're fighting him. What?
That was another thing.
You're fighting him. Get him.
Oh my god, what was it? Oh, he was like, because it was right after that tough season was right after Connor beat Chad Mendes.
Yeah.
And he's like, Uriah's like, I can't wait to fight you because I'm gonna beat your ass. TJ beat your ass too. He's like, how are you so sure? He's like, because we're not gonna gas like Chad did. He's like, so you're throwing your fucking buddy under the bus, huh? You're right now saying you're better than Chad Mendes. And Uriah Faber's like, I didn't say that. He's like, you're saying it right now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he did mean. Cause he even said Chad Mendes took it on like what was it, 7 days notice or something.
Yeah. He's like, no, 2 weeks notice. He was like,
imagine if Chad Mendes didn't take that fight on short notice. Conor McGregor would have never got his title.
Oh, yeah,
never been born the McGregor era.
Yeah, Chad Mendes was whooping his ass. I think I got gassed. I am excited for this season, though.
I am. Yeah, it's been the first season that I've been excited for in a while.
I really hope.
Oh, you gotta head out here in a few.
Oh. Yeah, I think we've got like 10 minutes.
I really hope Connor comes in clean. Not because I want him to win. I want good trash talk. Because I feel like Michael Chandler will try to trash talk, and Connor's just gonna be like, "Your wife's in my DMs."
I know. I really hope it's not lame like that. Michael Chandler.
He's just Homo says what? Like just dumb shit, trying to bring it back to.
I think Michael
Chandler's like,
I don't think if it's like good prime Conor McGregor trash talk, then Michael Chandler can't really hang with him. But he has some pretty good trash talk. On, like,
Michael Chandler's
MMA
funny. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Michael Chandler is funny.
So this has potential to be a really entertaining season. It's just what Conor McGregor are we gonna get? We're gonna get the good one who's like, he's not forcing.
He's gonna show up to practice in a fucking fur coat. He's gonna be an asshole. Like, I just feel like,
and not in a good way. It's gonna be one of those. This is lame. What is this, like 12-year-old schoolyard?
I still think that what he should do if we should bring back a couple of tough coaches that we haven't seen in a while. Like, I think that they should bring back, what was that fucking drunk dude that fucking GSP brought in to beat all those motherfuckers?
GSP talks about that to this day, how he feels so bad. He was like, I didn't know he was gonna show up drunk and be an asshole. Like, George,
he just came through and beat the dog shit out of all these sober young dudes.
I guess George told him afterwards, after the episode, was like, I guess they had like a falling out after that. He was like, what is wrong?
It was like Jean something or whatever. And that dude was...
Bring back Night Train Lane.
Ooh.
Let me bang, bro.
Oh, shit. Let me bang, bro. I just want to bang, bro.
I do let you bang.
I do
bring
let
back
you bang.
Bring back Julie Brownie.
Or you just bring back Chris Lieben to piss on beds. Yeah, especially to the Canadians. Because for some reason, he's such a dick. You're like, dude, that's the first episode, and you just pissed on this dude's fucking pillowcase. You're a motherfucker.
Josh Koscheck to pull pranks that go way too far.
He's gonna motorboat that ass.
Josh Koscheck's trash talking was so bad.
Man,
it was so bad that it was good,
You're
though.
A male nurse. You're a male nurse. And then he got pissed off because the nurse was making fun of his fake knees that he takes. Josh Koscheck got up like so mad.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, the knee didn't hit you. And he's like, all right. And she's like, all right, I guess we'll just fight.
Too far, you fucking
male nurse. For the 15th time in a row.
I still wish Paul Daly would have just slept him on that fucking sucker punch. Just slapped his ass.
If you're gonna do it, fucking go out with it.
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious.
He did it. It landed. It did nothing.
It did absolutely nothing. He was, if I wanted to kiss, I would have called your mother.
Dan Mergano just fucking basically threw him out of the cage almost.
Yeah, so almost choked him out.
I didn't hear that.
He had him in a chokehold up against the cage. Paul Daly's all fucking...
I didn't hear the bell. You didn't hear the bell? You full of shit.
You pushed me out of the way to go hit him. I already broke the fight up. Literally, he pushed Dan Miragliotta and fucking.
And that's the reason why he got knocked out by Nick Diaz. It comes all the way around. Like,
you know, why was Paul Daly kicked out of the UFC for that? But then, like, the shit that Conor and John Jones
literally
have done.
jumped into the crowd and fought fans.
Hey, fucking John
just
Jones
fought Dylan Danish.
John Jones hit Daniel Cormier.
Everybody wants to fight that guy, apparently.
Conor McGregor threw a fucking thing through a bus and cut multiple fighters.
John Jones hit Daniel Cormier and Herb Dean after the fucking bell.
And a pregnant woman with his car.
Yeah, she deserved it, though.
You
weren't there.
It's weird to me. It's weird to me that Dana's like, this guy's banned forever, but not these guys.
Yeah. Or even
so people who can make money.
He signed Greg Hardy, and then cut Violent Bob Ross for doing the same thing.
Yeah.
The same thing that Dana White himself does.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, right. What a fucking hypocrite.
I really hate that everything we like and support always is run by some piece of shit. Everything.
We used to like Dana, but then he literally became a boxing promoter. It happened over time.
He douched himself out of being cool.
We've seen it happening slowly turning into boxing. UFC will never become boxing. Liar! You're a fucking liar. You're doing fucking fights.
Never
and
become
shit.
boxing as we won't pay the fighters very much.
That's the only thing.
We won't become like boxing. We won't pay them at all. We won't let them have sponsors. We won't let them do anything.
And now his slap fighting bullshit.
How come he never fought Oscar De La Hoya?
Because he's scared.
Yeah,
that would have been fun.
Just like he's scared of Tito Ortiz. They can still fight right now. They're about the same age. Huh.
Yeah.
And look, Dana White's in great shape now. Roy did, but
I think Dana should do his that slap fight thing. He should just be in there. Like he should just be.
The final.
Did you hear the big announcement today? You can now bet on slap fights, and I'm like, oh wow! So
wow,
the guy who's gonna slap
first, yeah.
I know. Wait for the announcement. Like blue corner be going first.
I have $100 on fucking.
He trips and slips. Fuck! God damn.
Yeah, he cracks himself on the table, and he's just out. And you're like,
$100.
This is why I don't bet.
$100 on fucking dumb fuck McGee's. That should be their
Dumb
nicknames.
fuck McGee versus Asshat Johnson.
Yeah, brain dead idiot versus
Geoff Barton.
Oh man, that was an inside joke for us. We have a retarded friend.
We also though, stop calling those slap people fighters. They are not fighters. You are standing still, letting someone.
They're called slap artists.
They're called slappers.
These silly slappers out here. Fucking
How are you gonna call yourself a fighter when you just stand there? No skill.
You're like.
I would rather watch extreme arm wrestling. Have you guys seen that shit?
Oh yeah, they have to arm wrestle while fighting. It's stupid.
And then there's submission artists. Like there's one person who will they just so they're holding the arm and then they'll bring the arm to them and then lean over the table and then just try to break the person's arm over the table. It's awesome. I would rather watch that.
Arm wrestling has more skill than this slap. There's skill in arm wrestling. You have to train it. The slap fighter, you're literally just standing there, taking turns, smacking someone standing still.
I hope this slap doesn't knock me out right now. You wake up in the hospital, knock me out, huh?
Did I lose?
Got me again, huh? God damn
it.
Knocked out I need to start going first.
Yeah, it's basically like tails, heads.
Oh shit.
Fuck, please.
Okay, I wonder in the slap this is me thinking in the slap fighting, could you slap somebody and then just call it? Like could you be like, bam, you won.
Yeah.
Like could you do that?
Bam.
Like if you don't knock it, like if you don't knock him out and just go, you know what, you got it.
Yeah,
like I'm not taking
save
that.
Save your brain cells, like, and then if they get first, like I quit, I tap. But then when you go first, you always as hard as you can knock him out. Yeah, don't knock him out. I quit.
Yep.
I tap.
Or you go to like slap him, they're like hey, no rings, and you're like, oh, fine. You just pull the rings off.
I didn't think you noticed.
Sorry, I got him flesh colored. I didn't think you'd see it.
And then I feel like, at first, like when you watch the first couple ones on YouTube and stuff, you're like, oh, that's pretty funny. But then after a while, it's so
the same thing.
old.
Yeah, it's
they
the
just
same
stand there
thing.
and smack each other. It's stupid.
I still will say that heavyweight versus that lightweight.
That's
still one of the greatest.
Yeah,
still one of the greatest videos I've ever seen.
Because he tried to look scary and.
Yeah, he has the contacts and he's like, oh yeah. He's like,
oh
man,
barely moves.
Right there, I'd have been like, you got
the way
it,
he
man.
fucking his whole body shuts down. Yeah. Stiff as a board. Those guys have to catch him. That's another thing. Why is no one catching in the Dana White one?
Because it's funnier to hit the ground.
Yeah.
It's funnier.
More violent.
Or what they should do is they catch him, throw him back for another one. Wow. Like, that would be kind of fun. Just like a lumberjack match where they just toss you back in there. Like,
and I've noticed only the fucking Dana White cocksuckers are the ones that fucking like Anthony Smith and shit. I think it's pretty entertaining. You're retarded also.
Anthony Smith actually doesn't like a lot of stuff Dana White does.
Yeah,
he's
right.
just a redneck.
I see him all the time.
We used to do this back in my hometown. We just called it, we just called it slaps for sisters.
We used to do it with beer bottles.
They probably used to do that for a drinking game. Honestly, that's how this. Stupid...
That's my horse. And then just fucking slap the shit out of him.
It's the dumbest shit.
See, Dana White says, "You're a whore." And he slaps him. That's his name.
I know. I want to know what they were arguing about.
She was like crying, and then he like tried to like rub her arm, and she was like
quick.
quick.
She's like, why can't I get sponsors?
You slept with the Nelk boys again? Shut up. Those are my young friends.
I heard you suck Nick Diaz's dick. Bam. She's like, for like 35 seconds. He didn't last that long. I don't know why.
Like, I can't believe I walked in on you sucking Connor off again. He was like, please, I just want him to fight for me again.
She's like, this was a marriage. You stepped out with that Irish whiskey drinking motherfucker.
Yeah, well, after this, I'm going to John Jones's house. Yeah.
Me and him are going to do cocaine and we're going to hit other bitches with our cars.
Don't wait for me at home. I'm going to John's.
He's never going to fight for you again.
Well, at least he touches me. Like, it's like, God.
Oh, at least he lets me touch him. I'm just
like on Family Guy. Where were you last night? Oh, he's just at a buddy's house. Really? His trail goes to the gay bar. At least they know how to treat a man. Oh yeah, walk away.
That's Dana with fucking Connor and John Jones.
Connor, John. Rhonda used to peg him.
Yeah.
Alright, on that note, any Eli Manning messages?
Oh yeah. So I had challenged Eli Manning last week to a cage match. At least I believe it was a cage match. I call him out a lot. All I know is this pussy didn't show. He didn't show. I was just sitting there, singlet on, ready to rumble, but then he just, I'm assuming, just continues to be a mouth breather and won't come fight me because he knows that he'll catch these hands. He will get worked on worse than his offensive line during the early 2000s or mid to late 2000s. Like, he's going to get worked on. So I understand why he's being bitch made and won't face me man to man. So all I have to say is, Eli, I don't blame you for being a giant puss and not fighting me. I do blame you, however, for being the less talented Manning. Even your shitty brother who doesn't play football has more talent than you. You were terrible, and the only reason why your claim to fame is because you beat Tom Brady, and it's because he let you win. Trust me and Tom, personal friends, he let you win. So just know this. If you don't face me, what's today? Today is February 9th. If you don't face me on February 10th at 4:45 a.m., talking Madison Square Garden, it'll just be me, you, and a couple of janitors. But it's going down. If you don't face me then, I will have to come find you. Possibly. I probably won't. I'm going to be honest.
That.
Yeah, you don't want me to come find you because if I find you, it's gonna get violent. I'm talking a backstage brawl, brother. Like, I will find you in the parking lot. I will knock on your door in the Manning cast and I will fuck you up. So,
and I will fuck you.
That's right. Hard.
I want to fuck
possibly
Manning. Fight Manning.
I want to fuck Manning in his mouth. Yeah, that's right. No, I said it. I'm not afraid. What that mouth do, Eli? I don't know.
What that mouth do, Manning?
Yeah.
Mouth Manning.
Yeah, Mouth Manning. That's what I'm gonna start calling him. Good old pussy mouth Manning. That's right. Boom.
Peyton's already head Manning.
Yeah, that's right.
Mouth Manning.
And no disrespect Peyton, because I have the utmost respect for him. But his bitch-ass brother Eli, I'm talking to you. I'm also a Cowboys fan, so I'm coming for you.
If Eli doesn't respond, just going to Peyton the way to get to Eli.
Oh, that's true. I might just have to break Peyton's legs just to send a message to Eli. And Peyton, just know that it's nothing against you. It's just against.
Business.
It's just strictly business. Sometimes to get to your target, you have to go through the lessers. So I'm sorry, Peyton, but you know, Eli, if you don't respond to this, I'm coming for your whole family. No, I'm just it's going down, brother. I think that's all I really have for Eli today. Don't get me wrong. I will beat the shit out of you in my dreams, as I always do. I wake up just
daydreaming,
full bass, thinking about what I've done to you. This
pitchy intent.
Yeah, I'm not even pitching a tent. It's a whole circus. That's how excited I am of taking you down, brother.
Speaking of full mass, our sponsor, Blue Chew.
Oh yeah, our sponsor today is brought to you by Blue Chew. It's bonerific.
All right.
Good night, everybody.